I'm actually at the gas station getting some air in my tires, and I don't know if you can hear this. It's actually a tornado siren. Yes, in Indiana, we test the tornado alarms even in December. Alright, so as I mentioned in my video yesterday for this time trial, I am going to a track, and it's going to be pretty fun. This is actually my high school track. I've got a couple gels. My plan is to take one gel, like now, on the way to the track, and then take my next gel about 3 or 4 minutes before the 30-minute time trial starts. One thing I did not check was the Purdue football schedule, and it looks like there's a football game happening real soon. So I hope the parking lot is open. Oh my gosh. It's like totally full. I think I'm just barely early enough. So here's my high school, right here. Looks like they're doing some construction. All right, here we are. Here's my track from high school. So I've got the Polar H10 and I paired it to my Apple Watch. So we should be getting really good numbers. Now I'm just gonna be doing this first 20 minutes like super easy. So it's finding the stride now. And start. There we go. Just gonna do a couple laps and then do some like stretches and stuff. So super chill for the first 20 minutes. Not even really trying to run much. Here we go. $11 minutes in to this warm-up, 20 minutes, feeling good. Things are starting to loosen up, pretty relaxed. Just doing a couple laps at a time, and then some like stretches, lunges, stuff like that. It's a good day, a little bit of wind, so glad I'm at a track. Minutes in, so I'm gonna take this gel now. It's a spring Canterbury. I'm excited for this to hurt. I'm gonna get my headphones on, get ready to go. All right, 19 minutes, 30 seconds into this warm-up. 20 seconds to go. pace of 6:45 though. This hurts. One minute to go. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. All right, so that's over. I feel like I have a little bit of a limp right now. I can feel my IT band. It's a little bit of pain right now. So I'm gonna make sure I stretch out my glutes pretty good. But yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure I averaged pretty close to like 6:45, maybe 6:50 for the final 20 minutes. The first 10 minutes was about the same, maybe a few seconds faster. But yeah, we're gonna check it out on Training Peaks in just a few minutes. But first, I'm gonna do some stretches, make sure I don't go sit in the car and then like freeze up. Whew, that was tough. That was really hard. Lactate threshold test. It feels good now to have it over, but yeah, that was really hard. I'm starting to get really cold. I'm gonna head out pretty soon here. Just a few more stretches and I'm done. All right, what's up? Welcome back. I'm at home and we're about ready to dig into this data to see what happened during this run. That was hard. That was really, really hard. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey of pain that I was just on. 30 minutes of pain. But yeah, if it's not hurting, you're not doing it right for a lactate threshold test. It should be all out as hard as you can go for 30 minutes. And as we get in here, you'll see that it's not like the fastest miles anybody has ever ran or anything like that. Or maybe you'll think that it's really fast, but I just want to remind you that we are all individual. We're all on our own journey. This is just where I'm at right now. And I want to share that with you guys. As far as like gear and everything, I wore the Ultra Touring 4.5s. Was it 4.5s? They're the 4s. I can't keep track of all the numbers anymore. Anyway, yeah, Touring 4s, they were great. Wore the Stride Pod on my shoe, so it was giving me really accurate like cadence and distance, pace. I wore my Polar H10 heart rate strap and connected it to the Apple Watch. And some of you might be asking, why'd you use your Apple Watch for this test? Like, why didn't you use like a Garmin or Suunto or Polar or something like that? And the reason why is because the Apple Watch wasn't really responsible for creating any of the data. It was recording the GPS track, but it was taking the distance from the Stride Pod, pace from the Stride Pod, cadence from the Stride Pod, power from the Stride Pod, and then it was getting heart rate from the chest strap. And that's really all I wanted. The big thing that the Apple Watch does is when you use the Stride app, if you're connected to Training Peaks and you load in your programmed workout into Training Peaks, you can pull it. They call it fetching from Training Peaks, and it'll pull in your laps and it'll pull in your whole workout and it tells you exactly what to do with targets and everything. So that was great. I didn't have to hit the lap button at all. It just automatically did it for me. All right, so let's get in here. And we're gonna see, it was really fun going to my like high school track. That was awesome. Yeah, as you can see down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we've got the laps like perfectly timed out. Here's the 20-minute warm-up, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, and then like an extra 2 minutes that I just had to, you know, finish the lap on the track, do a little stretching. As you guys saw during the video, that warm-up the 20-minute warm-up, it wasn't just running. Like, there was a lot of dynamic stretches, warm-ups, lunges. It wasn't just running, and that wasn't the point of this first 20 minutes. It was just really to make sure that I was totally loose and ready to go, so that once I hit the first 10-minute lap, that I was ready to go. So let's just take a look at that real quick. My average pace for that first 10 minutes was 7 minutes and 1 second per mile. Average power, 326 watts. So that's pretty good. Intensity factor of 0.98. All right, but the thing that we're really here to look at is this lap number 3, 20 minutes. Average pace, 6:53 per minute. Got almost 3 miles in this 20 minutes. That's pretty good. I didn't really know what to expect, honestly. I was hoping for something under 7 minutes, close to 6:45, and I kind of was right in there as far as my pace goes. So first of all, if we just look at my pace, I didn't really do a whole lot of fluctuating. There was a moment right about, if we can look in here, right about that 45-minute mark when I had 5 minutes to go, and I went from running like a 6:30 pace down to a 7:15 pace within a minute. So 25 minutes into this test, at the 45-minute mark in the workout, we can see here that I was feeling really, really horrible, and I wasn't totally sure if I was going to be able to finish this test on this pace. I thought that this might be maybe my downfall. Maybe I overshot a little bit, but I was able to pick it back up for the last 5 minutes. Pretty steady pace, like nothing really surprising, nothing to worry about. I didn't fall off my pace. I didn't start too slow. That's one of the things that can really happen with tests like this, is that you start too slow, and then the last 5 minutes you're like, oh my gosh, I have like way more left in me than I thought I did, and so you have to speed up quite a bit. But it was pretty consistent. Like, I picked a pretty good pace that I felt I could run 30 minutes at, and I did that. Heart rate was like super consistent. Like, I hit I was kind of like in the mid 170s beats per minute, and then by the end I was really like just really solid, like right around that 181, 182, 180. Got up to 183 in the last couple minutes. Power, pretty consistent. Like nothing really to worry about. There was that dip right there at 25 minutes into the 30-minute interval where you can see my pace and my power just dropped quite a bit. Was just really, really hurting there. Honestly, I'm really happy with this test. There wasn't anything concerning here. So we've got just lap 3 highlighted, and we're gonna take the data out of there in order to form our zones moving forward. So first piece of data that we're going to pull out is my average heart rate, and that was 179 beats per minute. So that means my lactate threshold heart rate is going to be 179 beats per minute. Next thing we're going to pull out is my average pace for this lap, and my average pace was 6:53. So moving forward, my functional threshold pace is going to be 6 minutes and 53 seconds per mile. And then the third piece of data we're pulling out of here is my average power. My average power was 331 watts. So 331 watts is my new functional threshold power. All right, so now I'm going to go into my Training Peaks settings, and I'm going to put in my threshold heart rate of 179. And we're going to choose lactate threshold and Joe Friel for running. We're going to calculate and apply. So these are now my new zones. My zone 2 aerobic, 152 to 160. Oh gosh, that's higher than it used to be. That's higher than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna dip into the 140s a little bit. All right, that's all right. I'm gonna put in run power. My functional threshold power was 331. And then my functional threshold pace was 6:53. I'm gonna go in here and do 6:53 minutes per mile. Threshold speed, choose method, Joe Friel for running, calculate. This is my zone 2. It's kind of like that 7:51 to 8:53. Like that seems really, really reasonable. All right, so that's it. I went out and I did my time trial. I got my lactate threshold heart rate. I got my functional threshold pace. I got my functional threshold power. And now I'm ready to train. I've got all my zones set for the beginning of the season. So especially when I start this first block, starting tomorrow, of like VO2 max and everything, I'm actually going to have proper zones to target, which is really going to help me as far as my training for the Cruel Jewel. Coming up in May, 100 miles, 33,000 feet of elevation gain. I'm not nervous at all. about that. So that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you so much for following along. Hope you got a little enjoyment out of watching me suffer on a track. I'm not usually a track runner. I obviously prefer trails. All right, question for you guys. Have you ever done a test like this at the beginning of the season to set your zones? Do you even pay attention to zones? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, as always, if you have any questions for me, drop a comment down below as well. And that's it for this video. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.